UFC Fight Night Barboza versus Murphy, and I cannot lie, I wanted to talk about this because Lerone Murphy, I've been seeing him get a lot of love, and back in March, dude, to be honest with you, when I had a video talking about the featherweight division, I had him as my dark horse because undefeated from Manchester, and he's right in his prime where a lot of the lower ranked fighters in that division are aging out, to be honest with you, and he has a really good opportunity to make a run and possibly contend for the title. So I would keep my eyes on him as he moves forward. We will get to that fight in just a second, but I did want to talk about a couple of these fights on the card. To start it off with, Angela Hill gets a great win for her career with a submission over Luana Pineros, and to be real with you, I did not see that coming. I mean, first time she cracks the top 10, first time she gets a submission win, and against someone who was 11-2 going in. A solid prospect coming up, 31 years old, and Angela Hill's 39. You never know where a fighter is going to start lacking in her age. So great win for her, and now she's finally cracked the top 10. Adrian Yanez gets a disgusting KO, Vincius Salvador, and that's great for him getting right back into the win column coming after his 2 losses. A lot of people had their eyes on Themba because, I mean, if everyone knows the story, he had the $7 in his bank account that he showed, and then The Rock reached out, bought him a home, and did all this shit for him and kind of had him set up. So a lot of people had their eyes on him and were expecting him to come out with a ton of fireworks. But to be real with you, it was kind of a grapple fest and not necessarily the most exciting fight, but at the end of it, he kind of went off on a bunch of trolls and fans, and then somebody exposed him for being a troll, saying that to Bilal, I believe, being a dick to Bilal Muhammad. I don't really give a fuck, to be real with you. It's just kind of funny. If you're going to preach, you should kind of practice it a little. But regardless, Themba gets the win by decision over Ramiz Brahima. Then Chaos Williams gets a crazy first round knockout against Carlson Harris. And it was just absolutely wild. If you have not seen it, go check it out. In the main event, I wanted to get into this because, again, when I started this video, when I talked about, I had Lerone Murphy, and he's my dark horse in this division. I think he has a real opportunity to face some of the top contenders like a Brian Ortega, possibly a Yair. I'm not saying he's ready for those just yet, but I would love to see some new names in the mix at the featherweight division because we're starting to see some stale names sitting around the top 5, and we need to see them get tested by some young up-and-coming guys, and I think he's one of them. I mean, to be real with you, just to do what you did against Edson Barboza, even though Edson's older, it's still very impressive. Edson is very dangerous, one of the only fighters to stop multiple people via leg kicks. And going into that octagon against him, and you've trained with him in 2019, I remember him posting that post-fight, you know what he's capable of. And to get in there, to do what you did, and after you got hit at the end of the first round with that nasty up kick and your nose was fucked up the rest of the fight, you dogged it out and you figured out a way to get a win. And that's great to see with an upcoming fighter in this division. We do have another undefeated fighter, Movsar, and then Ilia Topuria. I'm interested to see who's the O has got to go, and I think that's important. If we're going to have some undefeated fighters, you got what I mean? We got to start matching them up against each other. Now, Murphy probably goes through a couple of other ranked opponents, maybe 1 or 2 before he gets in the top 5, and we'll see how that bodes for him. But I'm hoping to see it go well, and I love to see some great fights, so I appreciate you guys putting on this past weekend for all of us fans. So thank you again for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Let me know what you think of the card, and peace.